Today we're going to be installing this beautiful aftermarket motor mount on the MazdaSpeed 3. If you've ever driven a MazdaSpeed 3 before, you know that these motors are torquey. I mean, you mess up the clutch, the motor's gonna go like this. It's jumping around. That's how they are. You put it down on the throttle, you're going back. And if you let off, you're going forward. Then you put the accelerator back on, you're going back again. These motor mounts in these cars are actually, I personally believe, are designed for the Mazda 3 and the Mazda 3 only. Those motors are also make like half the power and torque of what these speed motors do and all that. And that's understandably why I believe that, I assume that most of your passenger motor mounts are blown. This son of a bitch is very unforgiving, and that's why we're gonna get rid of it with an aftermarket passenger motor mount today. Now, I personally never ran an aftermarket passenger motor mount on one of these cars, but hopefully it's gonna be such a game changer that I can tell you guys that you need to do it. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're getting. Here is your bushing. This is the 70 durometer street bushing from JBR. And here we have the mount brackets. So they have two options for this. They have the street, which is the 70 durometer. This is going to give you less vibrations, but this is also a lot stronger than what's in the car right now. Then they also have, I believe it's an 88 durometer, which is for mostly racing. See how well this does today. I believe this is going to do good wonders for us, and we'll compare the old one to this one. But we do need to assemble these two together. To install these together, go ahead. We're just going to take this off this bottom hardware. There are two holes on the bracket. We're going to drop it in on this one. You guys are putting this together. Make sure that it's perfectly aligned how the bracket sits and there's no rotation in it. Underneath, you can go ahead and put your washer on, your lock washer, and the nut. You're going to want to torque this down to 65 foot-pounds. So our mount lines up and it is parallel to the edges. That means we're ready to go. I'm going to start by taking off this bolt and this bolt that hold the power steering pump and the coolant res together. I'll go ahead and take a decent flathead screwdriver. There are clips that hold these in place. One right here and then one in behind here. Basically you gotta just push them in while you pull up. And we can move this out of the way. Let's go over there. Just want to support the corner of the oil pan with a 2x4. You don't need to lift the motor up, but you do want to support it because it will drop a little bit since we're now going to start removing those bolts. Go ahead and remove this 10mm ground. Now we're going to take the 17mm and zap all the hardware off. Now I'm going to take the two frame ones off. Your old mount. And we still have this ground here. We're going to remove this because we're going to be moving it around. It's just a 10mm. Now we're going to bend this bracket a little bit and remount it into a different spot. It's a little difficult to see, but there is a 8mm bolt right here on the timing cover that we're going to remove. That's where we're going to ground the wire that we just took out. Just loosely putting this in here. Now we're going to reuse this 10mm bolt that we took out. And we're going to mount. So here we have mounted our ground to the timing cover and then right there to a thread, and that's right beside the left side of the motor mount. So now that's done, now we can put the motor mount in. This is straightforward. Go ahead and slide that on top of there. We're going to torque these top two down to 60 foot-pounds. Now I will have to move the motor around a little bit. Put your old hardware in there. You can get it started. We're going to torque these ones that frame or bolt to the frame to 70 foot-pounds. All the weight is off the oil pan now, and we can now put everything back together. Our JBR mount is all nestled tight and tucked. Let's go ahead and get my reaction at cold starting this thing. So one thing I really noticed was this thing would like fall on its face.
Bluetooth. Waiting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's good. Everything, like, it vibrates more for sure, but this is what it should feel like. And it's not a horrible vibrate. It's like a vibrate that you can feel the car and what the car's doing. You definitely hear like more of the engine bay like inside the car. I guess we'll have to see what this feels like when we go driving. So first thing that like I immediately notice out of everything is I could hear that side of the car. Oh my god, it already shifts so much better. Oh, this is incredible. So my biggest problem, and everybody's biggest problem with this car, first to second shift, no problem. Second to third, no problem, dude. It's like driving my Mazda 3 with good mount. You guys need to do this upgrade. Like, if you're sitting here like, oh, I want to put a lot of horsepower on my MazdaSpeed 3, but I don't want stiff, vibrating motor mounts. It's kind of wrong car. It's 2007, man. These mounts, not any good. No OEM mount was good. Like, if you want to be able to shift this car and not feel like it's a workout, this is the upgrade you need to do. And I'm gonna do this to my sedan as well. This upgrade is awesome. This is my third MazdaSpeed 3, and I think everyone's had that motor mount blown. And I always thought it was such a chore in this car to shift, just because of, you know, how it was. And now I'm just realizing that they were all blown up, and this is one of the most important things you need to do to this car, like, right away. Ah, breath match in a second isn't a pain in the ass anymore. Like, just letting out is just such an experience now. First to second, so good. Okay, seriously though, do this. 100% recommend. So good. Like, I've been on the Mazda 3 platform for years, and there's like obviously some things that I haven't done like that, because I just really don't think they're important, and I don't want that to come off the wrong way, but that's how I saw those things. And I'm sure, like, obviously some of you guys will see that too. How much better it shifts, how much better it comes off the clutch, and you guys know how these cars are, they're a little heavy. Everything just feels so much better about the things that you probably hate about them. Obviously some of you guys might just have like really nice, well-kept cars, and they might have had some motor mounts done. But when you're making that kind of power too, like that's fully bolted, it's gonna, that motor's very torquey, and it's always gonna torque even on the OEM mounts. Like, I can flex this with two hands. You know how much torque that car is making? This thing's probably screaming for its life. Anyways, you guys get what I'm saying. Do it, okay? I got used to vibrations. I didn't notice it when I was driving home. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure that subscribe button, leave a like, and comment down below if you guys have installed your mount, if you guys have any questions or anything like that. Thank you so much for watching again. I appreciate y'all. I hope you've been enjoying the MazdaSpeed 3 content. Doing stuff like this is really fun. Anyways, keep it real. I'll see y'all in the next one.